Hey, what's up everybody? BDF 44 coming at you in another video. Alright, so I went to see mom today, man, and decided that I learned from last time if I do any videos on the way there, there's a good chance my phone's gonna be dead before I even get there and I can't charge it there. So I just decided not to do any videos on the way. But yeah, I feel pretty good. Just wanted a nice long ride, man. I had been taking time away from kind of going out as much over the last couple of days, just trying to conserve those fares as I've been telling y'all about. But today was pay the rent day, so my uncle had sent me what he sent me, and I was able to kind of feel a little more comfortable about going out because of it. So took care of that before I left, and now I'm headed back, grabbing something to eat, and then heading to the house. So that's pretty much my day, man. I've just enjoyed that really well. You know, of course, you guys know that when I go see mom, it's not a whole lot about that situation that I feel strongly about as it pertains to, like, it's not very sentimental for me. I find myself just kind of being there. But after the dream that I had earlier in the week where I was just kind of rude to my mom in the dream, I just felt it would be pretty respectful for me to just go up there and see her today. Not only that, but I had a dream in the afternoon yesterday where she was in the dream. She had returned to my dream, and this time I was able to say something along the lines of, "Thank you for everything you've done for me." And then I heard her say something to me, but I couldn't make out what it was, but I felt her presence. So woke up out of that dream feeling a lot better, and that kind of prompted me to just want to go see her today. So that's really what it is, man. Took the day off yesterday doing my 100s. I'm gonna take the day off today. I probably should do them, but I'm just feeling like I'm gonna relax today. I'm really hungry right now, so I'm just gonna grab some food, go in the house. I've been ramping up my exercise in other areas, but as far as the walking and the squatting, I ain't done as much of it as I probably had done last week. So yeah, man, just trying to manage my energy, and that's pretty much where we're at, man. I hope everybody's enjoying their day. Happy Juneteenth to all of us who celebrate it. It's a new holiday in my lifetime. I didn't grow up with no Juneteenth. I didn't know what that was, but as of late, America has started to recognize it as a holiday. I don't know if it's national or not, but everybody wants to celebrate it, so I'm up for it. But truth of the matter is, when you learn about what the holiday is, it's just once again turning a negative into a positive. They freed people before they actually told them that they did, and when they finally found out, this was the day they found out in a certain area somewhere, and I'm not sure where it was, but they found out about their freedom 2 years after it was granted to them, and folks kept it from them, so to speak. So that is what we're actually celebrating, when they finally found out they were free, rather than, you know, having to work for free, thinking they were still slaves, being treated like they were still slaves. And of course, the masters were keeping that information from them. So it's just you know, it's hard to celebrate that personally. It's hard to celebrate that. But it's just like everything else, we turn into a positive. We turn into a positive. So happy Juneteenth to everybody. But I don't know. I got my own thoughts about how that actually goes, and just what that actually reminds us in the end. Just about the deception of it all, whether it was legal or not. If we're willing to be slaves, they're willing to treat us like slaves, and it just speaks to how people get over on people, no matter what walk of life you're in. You know, people will do what they're allowed to do, and in this country, people have been allowed to do some very weird stuff, and today we still see it. There's footage going around the Gaza situation. I always want to lend some voice to that, but I have yet to see the footage, which is strange. It's very strange, to be honest with you. On my feed, I've never had a shortage of horrible images, but lately I've heard of images that I haven't actually seen. So I don't know what's going on with my news feed. I'm seeing things from Gaza, but nothing that puts me on the ground. So I don't know if they've done something to my algorithm so that I can't necessarily connect to some of the people that I normally connect with, because I'm pretty sure the footage of the half head missing child, which is not something I want to see at all, but that's what I'm hearing is going around. I just think it's kind of weird that I've seen everything else, but apparently this image hasn't across my phone. So I don't know what's going on with that specific situation, but apparently there's another horrible image like the others of a child with half their head missing. It's just, you know, this type of stuff that we've seen already. It's just, I don't have words, man. I don't have words. I don't have words. I just want people to understand that this is what's happening. This is what we're seeing. This is what people are seeing. And, you know, as we celebrate Juneteenth, we just understand that Arab people are being treated in some horrible ways by the same energy. You know, they would put them to work and enslave them if they could. If they thought they could get any work out of them, they would. It's probably why they didn't, quote unquote, genocide us, because they could put us to work. Use our strong bodies to do the hard work in the sun and do our, you know, breed us and sell us to one another. We were valuable to them. You know, it's just a wonder how the world actually spent this way, how we actually allowed this to happen. How it ever got to a point where we were that broken as a people. Broken to the point where we didn't just uprise and fight back such egregious behavior. And I say the same thing about Hamas. It's like Hamas don't have enough people in it. There's too many people rolling over from my eyesight. Maybe they're tired, maybe they're just peaceful people. But for how they're being treated, it's just, and they're killing you anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I look at it. It's like, they're murdering you anyway. So it just seems to me that there would be more people trying to resist that. I mean, I'm seeing with the type of treatment that they're faced with, and they're peaceful people. It's almost like they knew who they could do this to. And they don't try this on everybody. Only the most peaceful and docile of people will they do any of this to, because they know that it can get really weird if they do it to the wrong people. It can get really strange for them. And that's what I have to say about white supremacy as a whole. They know who to try and who not to. And even though they've tried to piss everybody off, they don't enslave everybody. They don't try to ethnically cleanse everybody. And so that's very strange, just thinking about it, trying to wrap my mind around how warped it is. And then I look at it comes down to a core belief system of a great deal of individuals that they deserve something that is ultimately making it so that they have to take it from other people. That they have conveniently found a way to believe that they deserve land that they otherwise have to kill and starve people out in order to obtain. And I say it's convenient because it puts them in a position to feel as important enough to be able to do something like that. So that for which is evil inside of them would never make it so that they would question this, right? Because when do people question something that exhausts them? When do we ever want to step away from something that tells us we're important? And so there's a bunch of people who walk around believing that they're overly and utterly chosen by God. And so the things that they do are fine, and the things that they want to take from people they're entitled to, it's just a perfect storm of pompousness and entitlement that allows for them to treat people who are not proving themselves to be aggressively. They tell themselves that these people are terrorists and proceed to terrorize them. And don't stop and wonder at all if that belief is actually a false one that would otherwise turn them into terrorists. While the rest of the world who's watching them is telling us exactly what it is, they are not even once questioning if any of us are right, because they believe it to their core system as it pertains to their connection to a God that they believe serves them, apparently. And they get to kill, steal, maim, mock, all in the name of their very own exhaustion. Never once stopping to question if any of that is meant to make them the worst human beings to ever walk the earth. Because of course we can take it, we're chosen, and this is our land. It's not your land because you weren't born there. You had to go somewhere and take it from somebody in order to have it. But you're not telling yourself you're stealing anything because somebody somewhere back in time wrote it in a book that you have a right to do this. And you believe them so conveniently because dare you not believe something that exalts you to be the best and the number one and the most important. It appeals to your vanity, my Zionist enemies. It appeals to your vanity. Can't you see how that weaponizes itself against you when people all over the world can't stand you because of it? The person who came up with that didn't want you to be first. He wanted you to be the worst. It appeals to your vanity. It appeals to your need to be the best or the most important. But in the process of doing that, the only thing you rise to the top of is the worst of us being worse than the Hitlers and the Nazis and all of that. You may have been chosen to show all of us why none of this should be done and all of it should be questioned. Not for a land that you can't keep safe because everybody's going to want to kill you from every direction because of what you've done to obtain it. No one's going to want to do any business with you because of what you've done to obtain it. Never once are you going to stop and ask yourself, is this meant to make me the worst instead of the first or the most important? I just wonder if their vanity and their supremacy doesn't clog or cloud their mind away from some very important aspects of what it is that they're involved in. I wonder why they're so quick to believe something that ultimately makes them aggressive and violent toward people and children. Toward children. And they demand that our country, this particular country, give them funds for their mission to exalt themselves so that they can take back what they say was theirs 2,000 years ago. When of course a lot of them can't inhabit the land because of the sun, and so how could you possibly be meant for a land that ultimately gives you cancer? I don't understand. Like, and they never once exalt this, never once question this because it exalts them. We're better than you, need to be better than you, and because of it, we're going to believe something that totally makes us the worst people in the world. And held on to this for years and years and years and years and years. And everybody else went along with it somehow. It's like, yo, the devil was in conjunction. Everybody's sins work in conjunction so that this can exist. Don't you get it? I've been trying to explain this for a long time, but don't y'all get it? It takes evil in the surrounding to enable this to be possible. If everybody wasn't evil around them, making them think that what they have is necessary to obtain in order to capitulate with their nonsense, we have to let them do this. Can't y'all see it's y'all evil within you that allows for them to feel like this is possible? Your capitalism, your self-loathing, and all these different things that we engage in have created an environment where they think this is their calling. They put themselves in every position of government and corporations and all different types of stuff where they own so much. And it was our need to continue to pay into that allowed them to think that they are above everybody. And as a result, now they're able to do this in 2023 and 2024. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is we allowed for Zionists to be like this. By being as evil as we are, the rest of us in our own lives, being corruptible and selfish and greedy and violent, all of our self-loathing that would allow us to feel like we're second to others, the ability the willingness to bend in the presence of bad energy and keep people's secrets when they're doing all types of devilish stuff, be caught in the dark doing stuff we ain't got no business doing. All of that survived to create the environment where the Zionists can thrive. And if not for all of that, they would be in a world where everything they do would be shunned in this regard. But because so much of us are corruptible and corrupted, nations and individuals alike, this is why they're in a world where this can actually be considered right. People need to change from the mirror and beyond in order for this not to have even been possible. We let them get in power. We paid into every bit of their wealth. And as a result, they get to sit in this space, do these things, and only partially be held accountable for it up to this point. Thousands and thousands of innocent praying people have been slaughtered, mostly women and children, because we allowed these people to think that they are above reproach. So that's what it is, man. That's what I come to understand. It's the evil in all of us that created an opportunity for them to be as evil as they are. And that's what we need to know, and that's what we need to believe. I encourage everybody to read Letter to America by Osama bin Laden. Yes, the guy they told you was the worst person in the world. You need to read his words. You need to read what he said, because essentially he said exactly what it is I just described, and he was right. And while we all believed he was the enemy, now we realize the enemy was the ones behind our walls. The enemy was those over there with the star on the damn flag. So whoever they told you was the worst person in the world, you have to question whether or not you believe some bull crap, because to be honest with you, they've proven themselves to be what it is they were describing on the others. And just like a Zionist, every projection is a confession. We know that. Every accusation is a confession. We know that. So if they told you Osama was a bad guy, he probably was a decent dude. If they told you the Black Panthers were bad people, they're probably decent people, because they mold the realities around them to fit what it is they want it to be. It's what they've always done. They mold the laws to fit whatever weird warped stuff they want to allow to happen or make money off of. It's what they do. They'll steal from me, you, everybody else, so that they can build their empire. An empire that ultimately required for all of us to capitulate to the nonsense in order for it to even thrive. People had to look away and say, nah, not my problem, in order for that environment to even be possible. If everybody turned their attention to the stuff they was doing, they wouldn't be able to do it. So we can get on them for all the stuff that they're doing, but you gotta remember that the world they're in allowed for it to be. And that world is made up of you and me. So we need to get our act together. We get our act together. Stop warring over these religions. They thrive off that. Stop paying into these sinful things. They thrive off that. They literally make money off of all of that. Capitalism making money more important than your family, your God, and the things that go on. Hey, where they are is where you paying into, and 9 out of 10 times. All these different things y'all must have, all these different brands that y'all love so much, even myself, that's where they're making their money off of. That's where they're able to pour all their money into these various different things that they're doing. Killing people and maiming people, starving people out, buying up everything. That's what it is. You pay into it, they invest into themselves. So this is the sin of the world, man. Allowing the Zionists to exist is the sin of the world. And we could try being angry and appalled with what it is that they do, but we can't look too far as to say the Western world is what created them. And all of the different things that we have to have in order to exalt ourselves was poured into them investing in themselves, exalting themselves. That's just what it is, man. This genocide has taught us a lot, and I hope we're paying attention. I truly hope we're paying attention. BDF 44, thank y'all for watching. I'm out.